minutes ago, not really even 5 minutes ago, 5분 전에 메시지 했어. 그것만 찾으면 되는데 내가 페인티즘을 잘못 봐서 속으로 그렇게 생각해서 여기 나온 단어보다 더 좋은 단어 페인티즘이 있다니. 페인티즘보다 더 좋은 단어가 답이 될 순 절대 없어 하면서 눌렀거든. 난 해석을 잘못한 게 아니죠. 그냥 너무 많이 해서 순간적으로 하는 글자를 잘못 봐서. 근데 내가 2시간 동안 풀면 어떤 미국 애들한테도 안 져요. 맨날 똑같아요. 맨날 다른 문제 해도 절대로 안 져요. 그럴 리가 아예 없어요. 웬만한 미국의 일반 사람들한테 다 이기지. 그건 진짜 사실이에요. 어떤 미국인한테도 안 져요. 2시간만 풀면은. 왜냐면 내가 좀 눈이 나빠서 몸을 뒤로 가면 잘못 볼 수가 있거든. 근데 다른 어떤 미국 애들한테도 안 져요. 웬만한 미국 4년제 대학 나온 사람 절대 못 지지. 어떻게 내가 이걸 잊어버리겠어, 그지? 죽어도 안 잊어버리고 안 주니까 걱정 마세요. 왜냐면 좀 가까이서 봐야 돼요. 이게 원래는, you know what, I'm not making an excuse. You normally hold the smartphone really close to your nose like this. Then, you know, I would actually place it here on a cradle. And after many hours, I was already solving my questions more than 5 hours, and my body was slouching. And I wasn't really clearly thinking. This idea was palpably crystallized in my brain. Oh my God, there was even a better word than that has just been suggested normally. The way it works, you know, the tradition, convention is in finding what has been dealt with before. It was an easy choice. No need to think twice about it because you were supposed to find what has been given ahead of time without thinking twice about it most of the time. You know, because amongst the 4 different choices, none of them are already mentioned or predetermined or pre-suggested. So the answer was very clear. Mysticism. I was about to click it. Oh my God, but there's a pantheism. Wow, we even actually have an advanced one. They asked me to find the better choice. That was a very idea dearly possessed by me. For that short amount of time, they can hear this pin drop. I know. It's not pin prick. It's a pin drop. 그거까지 들을 수 있는 거 알아요. 그리고 전 진짜 안 까먹어요. 걱정 마세요. 진짜 안 까먹어요. 걱정 마세요. 한 2-3시간 풀면 막 죽어도 안 까먹어요. 그 뒤로 이제 몸이 점점 뒤로 가는 거야. 그럼 이제 잘 안 보이지. 왜냐면 내가 눈이 진짜 나쁜데 이 글자가 진짜 작거든. 근데 이건 진짜예요. 이거 되게 자세하게 봐야 돼요. 그리고 아까 나 진짜 똑같은 단어인 줄 알고 틀릴 뻔했어. 누를 뻔했어. Unprocessed. I really wanted to actually say the unprocessed because it's unprofessional, it's crude and not made by expert. That was what I just told. So I was about to click it. Oh, wait a second. This is something different. You know, all 4 of them are pretty much similar. Then I actually read it because that was normally how the system works. They abruptly changed the venue in order to fool me. That's so malignant. That was with a criminal intent to deceive me, tell the truth. 그건 거짓말이잖아요. 그러니까 나처럼 죽었다. 글도 못 읽는 사람이네. 어쩌고저쩌고 더 귀찮게 해요. 근데 세상에 그런 게 없네. 해석을 주든가. If you were fluent in Spanish. Don't worry. I'll hire a Spanish teacher. Senorita. Mi deseo aprender en español. Mi deseo, I'd like to. Mi deseo. Are you sure? Yeah. They're actually just abusing me. Or they just simply capitalize on the weakness of human psychology. That's it. It's not about the honest representation. I don't really mind. 내가 분명히 이상하다. 똑같은 글인데 그때도 내가 페인티즘 하려고 했는데 마지막에 다시 보니까 에이티즘에서 피했거든. 그리고 어차피 나왔던 글을 찾으면 되는데 그래서 이상하다 생각해서 와 요즘에는 문제가 바뀌나? 나왔던 그 단어가 아닌 것보다 더 좋은 단어가 있다고 지금? 문제가 바뀌나? 이런 초록 색깔엔 그렇게 한 적이 없는 그 생각도 한 게 들려요. 왜냐면 글을 진짜 똑바로 읽었기 때문에 분명히 페인티즘을 계속 찾고 내 마음속에 이건 딱 페인티즘인데? 이러면서 답을 찾기 시작했는데 상관없어요. 내가 한 2시간, 3시간 동안 풀면 무조건 아무 미국인 이길 수 있어. 나 진짜 약속할 수 있다. 2시간, 3시간 안에. 죽어도 안 틀려요. I'm actually really fine. No, that's really not true. I'm really great. I'm really fine. Very sophisticated. You might really want to deny it, but that's the truth. Deal with the morons. I'm not nephew. I'm actually better. My logical reasoning is really fine. Paddler. I'm not a paddler. They were just being jealous of me because I have a brilliant memory. Too shameful. They could never accept that one. Alright, this seems really reasonable. 나와서 아는 게 아니라 여기서 alright가 제일 낫겠다. 됐죠. 한 번도 안 본 거 이렇게 읽으면 되지? 읽으면 항상 다 맞습니다. 걱정 마세요. 절대로 안 틀릴 수 있어요. 읽으면. 근데 진짜로 안 읽고 했거나 몸이 약간 뒤로 가서 잘못 봤어요. 근데 내가 약속한데 2시간에 3시간 풀면 무조건 아무 미국인이랑 진짜 엘리트 미국인은 비슷할 수 있겠지만 웬만한 일반 미국인은 이길 수 있어요. 진짜로 막 북워럼 그런 사람 말고 있잖아. 진짜 막 책을 너무 사랑해서 정말 모든 단어 정확하게 그런 사람 말고 그런 사람한테는 치겠지만 웬만한 4년 지나면 영어랑 별로 상관없는 사람들 영어는 자기 말로 쓰지만 그렇게 paying attention 하는 사람들 그런 사람 이길 수 있지 당연히. 근데 뭐 학교는 상관없이 책을 진짜 사랑하는 사람도 있거든. 그런 사람 어떻게 이기지? 내가 어떻게 이기냐? I'm really, really smart. 역시 거의 천재적이야. 진짜 거짓말 안 치고 종이로 하면 항상 다 맞을 수 있어. 사람이 급해서 안돼 봐봐 나 누를 뻔했어. 내가 안 눌러서 진짜예요. 아니에요. 어떡해. 나 미친 줄 알았어. 그만할래? 손 떨려. 나 누를 뻔했다. 진짜예요. 잘못 누를 뻔했어. 내가 하려고 한 거 아니었단 말이에요. 그냥 그렇게 사고가 있어요 가끔. 아무도 안 받아줘. 종이로 하면 되는데 이거 무섭잖아. 어떡해. Obsidian, volcano. I don't forget. 일단 same atomic 되대. iso means same이라는 뜻이거든. Thwarted, unsuccessful. Oh, I'm a genius. I don't know. I've never seen this. Oh, I'm really better in terms of words. Unresponsive to fraud with uncertainty and doubt. Don't actually fucking try to say it. Just simply, what I want to actually mention is this. I was so close to clicking unprocessed because accrued, as far as I know, I've been actually here almost like inculcated to believe that it's rough, not expert made. It's really rugged or serrated, something, about uncouth, right? But the thing is, you never actually gave me a heads up. That means you never warned me. This is not the regular, typical definition quiz. It requires a little bit of attention to the paragraph's content material. Why would you actually change the rule abruptly without giving me a warning? Affirmation warning. Don't you not actually think that this is one typical way demonstrating your snarly and devious nature? You just really want me to be fooled. So you're going to laugh at me. But that has nothing to do with my firmly bounded knowledge or very unswerving, early established understanding of English words. You just actually, drill the hole by capitalizing on and taking advantage of my own psychological carelessness and recklessness. Why would you do that? 그게 뭐가 내가 아는 거냐? 진짜 말도 이용하는 거잖아. 그게 실력이니? 그럴 것 같으면 얘기를 해줘야지. 야, 내가 만약 그걸 그냥 눌렀으면 어떡해. 계속 똑같은데 지금 2시간 동안 할 때 동안 내가 갑자기 unprocess 누르기 전에 tasteless, crude가 약간 tasteless가 될 수도 있는데 어떤 면에서 gaudy 할 수도 있거든. Oh, she wants to refine herself the way she bedded in her clothing, which is somewhat crude and gaudy, somewhat garish, somewhat not garish. What do you actually call that? Somewhat cheap and tawdry. 이럴 수도 있고, somewhat cheap and tawdry way. Then I realized, you must pay attention to one. 사기꾼들. That's really just a very nasty foulness to me. Because they just abused my tendency. Because I was inured to the system, and they just want me to be disadvantaged. Huh. It's really impossible, because I will thrive no matter what you do. I'm really better. I'm not being beaten by any American. Unless you're American, I'm not going to be seized by any American, except those highly educated people, including English majors and bookworms or literature buffs. Those are very dedicated people in terms of sophisticated usage of words. Those are really the only people that I could never actually, easily defeat, to tell the truth. That requires a serious commitment to lexicographical works, right? Yeah. 그건 인정하지만. Fodder. Hey. Hey. Dry the hay while the sun is out. Dry the hay while the sun is out. Every month I emerge numbed and what? Exasperated. 그냥 보통 나온 거 하면 돼. 근데 뜻은 진짜 알고 하는 건데 이게 맞는데 보통 이걸 나온 걸 하면 되기 때문에 그걸 진짜 잘못 봐서 그래요. 왜냐면 속으로 분명히 pantheism 계속 외치고 있었어. Oh, it's really bizarre. It's an aberration. Are you experiencing something abnormal here? Yes, indeed. That was what I was thinking at the time. 상관은 없어요. 그래서 근데 나온 거라서 아는 건 아니고. 원래 제대로 읽어요. 그래서 안 틀려요. 분명히 내 마음에 진짜 내 마음 소리를 다 듣는 거 아는데 계속해서 pantheism, polytheism 그런 거에서 놀랬어. 이렇게 예외적인 aberration. Did you actually see the teaser from Amazon video? Are you experiencing something abnormal? Are you going through something that is unusual, that might deviate from normalcy? Deviates from. I was very surprised to see this pervert. Yeah. Oh wow, this would have been the case. I really thought to myself. But you know, please bear in mind that I already spent 5 hours in a row. But I promise that, you know, throughout the 3 hours or 4 hours, I can actually make almost zero mistake. I promise that. I'll live up to my promise. It's not word in vain. 진짜예요. 3시까지 해볼게. 나 프레드릭 진짜 내가 그렇게 못하지 않아. 난 진짜 너무 잠올 때 하고 그런 때까지 한 걸 왜 다 매긴지. 난 그냥 이게 좀 중독돼서 그냥 그만 못할 때가 있었어. 너무 계속 하고 싶을 때가 있었다. 그게 왜 기록인지 이해가 안 돼. 지금은 계속 이래요. 그냥 매일매일 한두 시간 부르면 다 똑같아요. 저 이렇게 안 까먹는데 뭐 까먹었다 그럽니까? 3시까지 차분하게 풀어볼게. 봐봐. 맨날 나한테 틀렸대. Richard Dawkins is the creator of a meme. Do you know it? Atheist. The greatest popular atheist. Richard Dawkins is the founder of this cultural jargon called the meme. The catchphrase. 진짜요. Jeopardy 나와요. Who was a one step on a time? The final question for Jeopardy session. Yes, I got it. Really? I don't know. I just somehow managed to get it, and I was so elated. They really. Cautiously, but better to read it. That's a better. It's not really difficult at all. I don't want to say this. With the case gloves, handle something really cautiously, paying extra attention to something. 내 상관없다. 내 생각 진짜 잘 듣는다. 그래서 내가 안 믿은 것까지 들을 거야. 내가 아니 이것들이 나한테 거짓말을 하나? 어떻게 나한테 이런 말을 할 수 있지? 그래서 내가 열받아서 딱 가까이 왔거든. 너무 I was still in disbelief even after I had been itched. And I realized it. I put my nose really close to the screen. And really internally, this was not really spoken. Because I was really seething with anger. Oh my god, they're actually fucking me again. They're messing up with me again. And I saw it. And I was startled. It was atheist. My gosh, I would be so dead. They were gonna laugh at me. You know, you should have actually just clicked on what was given as an option. There is no exception, like. But you know, these kind of tiny pin drops are being horrid. I know. Thankfully, I had done it successfully multiple times before. 저번에 몇 번이나 했던 거예요. 상관없는데. 페런티지. 만약에 새로 나온 거면 그렇게 하면 네가 죽었지. 잘 보고 해라. 스턴트. 슬라이딩. 잘 보고 가까이서 보고 해. Adversary. Well, I'm not second. That's your argument. You know what? I might experience a sudden fluctuation because of my myopia. This is really a medical condition. I really have a terrible eyesight. This can be verified by optometrist easily. And even when I'm purchasing sandwiches, I really put my nose to the label because I couldn't see them. But normally, other than that, I'm really great. 걱정 마세요. 웬만하면 내가 진짜 잘할 수 있어요. 절대 못할 수가 없어. 그거는 trident, 3 prongs. Yeah, no, I'm actually really better. Do you even actually know what prongs is? A tines. You know, have you ever actually watched The Mermaid? Little Mermaid. You know, his father is holding a trident. Do you know it? Yeah, cheap clothing is a bauble or a trinket. I can even go on a battle. Gigo, trinket, bauble, and I have more. 진짜 더 많이 있어요. 진짜 많이 이거. Cheap jewelry. Missing piece. Void. Or a vacuum. 이건 진짜 많아. Gigo, trinket, bauble, or whatever. I can go on forever. 진짜요. 진짜 3시간 동안 하면 웬만한 미국 사람 정말 영문과 미국에서 영문과 나온 진짜 그런 천재 말고는 비슷하게 갈 수 있어요. 아니면 이기거나. 진짜예요. 가까이 와서 봐. 끝에 갈수록. 왜냐면 끝에 갈수록 더 잘못 볼 수가 있거든. 무슨 말인지 알지? You understand what I mean. You get the picture, right? You know, the more you're getting closer to the end of the session, before you actually run a finale, you have to actually put your nose close to the screen, please. 아, 이거 알지. 확실하다, 이 surveyor. This is a real landscape surveyor. You know, a landscape surveyor이에요. 진짜 중요한 일이에요. Hockey, Seppi. Oh, Seppi, yeah. Sentimental. Seppi. I'm really great. I can be treated as an average person. Speaking English regularly, at least in terms of accuracy. Oh, where's accuracy, I mean. Yeah, Adobe. Man, do you not know the Native Americans? By the way, you know, the United States now has a first Native American woman as interior minister, interior secretary. That's great. But Adobe is really the bricks made from, you know, argil clay. But that's a really particular way of habitation by Native Americans. This is true. 이거 이제 미국 저기 인디언들이 하는 방법이에요. 진짜요. 책에서 봤는데. 그 small-minded은 아주 insular, narrow-minded고. Nah. You want me to write down small-minded? No, not that one. Small-minded means very narrow-minded. Narrow-minded is really kind of parochial person. Parochial means blinkered. Blinkered means insular, as if like an island. You've been actually, you know, stuck in your own narrow view of sea. Yeah, that's what it is. Soulful, you know, lively, or even funky, hearty. Yes, blinkered is very important. Blinkered. Or prejudiced, or preconceived, and a biased. And what biased means what? Bigotry. 이런 게. The range is cracked, crazy, demented. 하지만 이렇게 잘 살아남잖아. 미쳤어. 이렇게 잘하는데 뭐가 난리예요. Doesn't matter what we do. Will commit suicide? No. Shylock. 29% interest rate. That's a crazy. Lord Mountbatten was the last viceroy to India, representing the British Empire. So he actually had a greater attachment to British history, even actually than newly instated Queen Elizabeth in her earlier days. He had such a connection that could never be emulated by any nation royal members, because he was the establishment. I mean, I'm not lying. I understand that the crown suggested that even actually he had a charismatic and such an prideful attachment to the British Empire that's been resounding from a deep colonial imperialism of the era. Even actually deeper than Queen Elizabeth, fairly nascent in the faith than Lord Mountbatten. Sure, I understand that. Don't get that wrong. He was the last viceroy to India, the former British Empire. That honor and glory was really oozing from every pore of his. So his house was like, full of rites and rituals of the British monarch, even greater than the Queen's family that was suggested. He literally followed every tradition based upon the rule book that would be very privy to only selected members. Yeah. He was living and breathing in the tradition of British monarch. That was how it was depicted, literally. And even figuratively. 진짜요. 그 정도로 프라이드가 있었대. 그리고 엘리자베트 여왕보다도 더한 어떤 그런 대영 제국에 대한 그런 어떤 커넥션이 있었기 때문에 아주 굉장히 했다고 하더라고. 거기 나와 있었어요. 집에 있을 때는 모든 트래디션 다 따르고 장난 아니었대. The way he actually handled the crest, the way he comported himself, strictly bound by the rule book, dictated by the history of the British Empire. Yeah. That was what has been suggested. You're avoiding something. No, I'm not. I'm not avoiding something. I could traverse, creek cross. Traversons, c'est traverser, ils traversé leur. 이제 프랑스에서 되게 많이 쓰는 travel cross. 진짜요. 그거는 이제 프랑스에서 되게 많이 쓰는 말이에요. Traverser, just as creek cross something. Literally travel. He hopscotch everywhere. Eyewitnesses, those watchers who literally witnessed the very development. It's also French, it's a fine. Blue match. Get the fuck out of my way, you asshole. You're not gonna be cooperative. You know what? You're gonna pay the price. If you don't listen to us, if you don't pay heed to our command, you're gonna regret that. Oh, Shylock. I didn't really. The Merchant of Venice. Yeah, presumptuous. Sheer has both of them different meaning. Complete or thin. Yeah. It does have a sheer. It's a transparent. It's really thin. Gouzy. Or sheer. It was a sheer joy to have you in my life. It's an easy one. Everyone knows it. Not me. Everyone knows it. That's an easy usage. Everyone knows it.